The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Let's go, baby!
Are you ready for a break?
Yes.
Are you ready for a break?
Absolutely.
Ready for a break?
Yeah, and so much for that.
It's time for The Break on DallasCowboys.com.
We were on the break!
With Ambar Garcia, Bryan Broaddus, Vach Lombardi, and Derek Eagleton.
It is Friday, December 19th, 2025, season 21, episode number 97. Welcome to the latest edition of The Break. We are live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. We're presented by LG. LG is the world's #1 OLED TV brand for 11 years and counting. See why at lg.com/OLED Evo. Vach not in today, but we got Bryan, we got Amber. We got a little talk for you guys, get you guys ready for Cowboys versus Chargers. That'll be happening.
What's wrong, Bryan?
Field goal kickers.
Oh.
You know what's crazy? Last night, after it was I think it was 30-16, 30-14, something like that. I was like, this game's over. And I went to bed.
Yeah.
And then I woke up this morning, I was like, no.
Not those two teams.
No, please don't tell me I
Not those
missed
two teams.
that game. You always do that. You always risk that in the NFL. And that was the Cardinals' sin, too. Like, when it's two good teams, you should never just say, oh, this game's over.
Nah.
Because you just never know what's going to happen. And sure enough, I woke up this morning, and I was like, I missed it.
Yeah.
Missed a great game. But looked like it was a great game. Two really good teams, two evenly matched teams. It looked like the playoffs will be interesting. It's interesting, Amber and Bryan, as you look around the NFL,
I feel like you're getting it word in edgewise today.
maybe not. Maybe I actually can talk for a little bit. Sorry, Vach. But no, it feels like this year. Not only is there a changing of the guard because the typical teams that have been in the mix don't seem to be there as much, but it also seems like there's this theme of defense that is also the best teams in the league. They're probably the best defenses in the league as well, which in a league where offense has been everything for so long, it's kind of refreshing to see all these really, really good defenses now sitting atop the league.
Yeah, they've. I tell you, you're seeing some young coaches too that are involved as well. You know, with Seattle and what they have going, and I mean around the league, there's the young coaches. It's that part of it's refreshing as well. Yep. I think the thing that makes this so much fun watching these teams play is the level of talent the quarterback play. I know in last night's game, you got two quarterbacks, and a lot of people gave up on Sam Darnold. It just kind of shows you, though, you're one of these teams that all of a sudden you don't have a quarterback, you don't have – you think you don't have a quarterback, you draft a quarterback, you play with him for a couple of years, and you just get rid of him, and then he goes on the Baker Mayfields, the Sam Darnolds. Mm-hmm. These guys go on and play other places and just thrive. Look what they thought about Matthew Stafford, too. I mean, at Detroit, everybody's like, he's washed up, he's done and all of that. But you're right. The offenses have been outstanding. These defenses have come a long way because you're looking at a situation where the league is really geared towards offense. The rules are geared towards offense. You see a lot more calls towards the offense when it comes to some of the penalty stuff. But man, these guys that can dial up the defenses, can get their guys to play at a very, very high level. You saw it firsthand last week. A team like Minnesota, their offense has been struggling all year because of the young quarterback. But here they go. They got a defense that's very well coordinated, and you're about to play another one with the Chargers. That's a very well coordinated defense with a young coordinator heading it up.
Yep.
This is going to be a weird question because I'm not quite sure how to properly phrase it, but sometimes because we're so close to the Cowboys, and I'll speak for myself, I'm so close to the Cowboys that sometimes it's hard to put yourself in other teams, like think about their own situation where you feel like, oh, this just happens to us and we're struggling with this or that. Obviously, knowing there are much worse teams out there, but you tend to completely eliminate those every year regardless. But my question to you guys, and I know the Cowboys have had successful years in recent years. They haven't made it past the first round of the playoffs. But my question is, I don't even know how to say it, but is there a team out there that you would compare to the Cowboys where they've had similar struggles but have been able, and I'm talking about in the last 5 years, to overcome those things and get further into, not to the Super Bowl, obviously, because we know the Super Bowl teams and all that, but have had much success into the playoffs? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. You know what's interesting is there have been some teams that I thought, because of the situation that they found themselves in, whether that be something happened with their quarterback, a lot of turnover on their roster, I thought, oh man, it's going to take them a while to rebuild that. And then in short order, they're right back in the mix. The Rams are a good example of that.
Yeah.
Like we thought a few years, what was that? Maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
There were questions
After
like,
their Super Bowl run.
Yeah, there were questions like, did they basically
picks.
sell? Did they
Yeah.
basically sell their future
Yeah.
for a Super Bowl run? And so there's a question of how can they get back? How soon can they get back?
Yeah.
And now they're right back in it, and one of the best teams in the NFL.
That's a great example of a team that knows free agency pretty well, plays in that game. They've drafted third, fourth, fifth round really well. And when they've had some,
Because that's all they had. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Verse and others.
Yeah.
They've drafted. I'll give you a team, Ambar, I think that kind of maybe could be like that, and I might be wrong about this. The Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are a team that have had a great history. Been around an old AFL team. They had a little bit of when they started a run. They had a run through the 70s. The Cowboys played them in a Super Bowl in 77. They kind of went through the 80s with the Dan Reeves administration.
Crush.
Yeah, they've had a great history. They've had probably very good playoff success, and then kind of went away. We're struggling to find a coach. Kind of were like looking at their roster. It wasn't really built exceptionally well. Went through some general managers. But they're a team that has had a history of being really, really good, kind of falling off a little bit, and then all of a sudden getting really good again. We look what Sean Payton's done. But they went through a spell there where they went through 2 or 3 coaches, and the roster, the general, it just wasn't good. So very much similar to the Cowboys. They've had more success, I think, in playoffs here lately as opposed to the Cowboys. But to me, I kind of look at the way that the history of their team seems very similar to what the Cowboys have been.
Yeah. Let's talk real quick. We're talking about defense. Yesterday, we find out the Cowboys have made an interesting change to their defense, not necessarily to a player, but with the coach, defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. The decision's been made that as opposed to him being on the sidelines during the game, they're going to move him into the booth. Obviously, in the booth, you can see the field better. You can see what's happening.
We can see all the mistakes that Matt's making.
Well, yeah, but also,
I mean, where we're sitting, I mean,
right.
It's the same. You do.
You
do it. You see it. You absolutely see it.
And you can, as we're watching the game from upstairs, we can always see things that it's easy to be like, oh, that quarterback
you didn't cover,
or they didn't do this, or they didn't do that.
Yeah.
But it's not the same view from the field. But from a coaching standpoint, and this is something I was kind of looking around yesterday and seeing different perspectives. And I can't remember who it was, but someone, a former coach, was saying, yeah, that's nice, but what you give up is being able to see your players, being able to see their eyes,
the reactions,
know what you need to be doing with them, know if you need to be encouraging them or if you need to really be pressing on them, right? You being able to coach them in the moment. Those are the things that you kind of miss when you're up there in the booth. You're removed from the game a little bit, the emotion of the game, and you're more just tactically thinking, okay, here's what I need to do here, here's what I'm saying here, and make a decision. Brian, which do you think is better?
I think personally being upstairs is the best because what happens is it's upstairs. It's a very much you can see the entire field. You can see their sideline. You can see their substitution patterns. You can get an idea of who you have on the field, who you don't have on the field. You see guys running on and off. The coordination has to be, you have to be very quick. But once you're able to see their sideline and who they've got coming on, you could quickly adjust and base, nickel, dime, get the dime out, get the goal line out, short yardage. You got people when people in the box, they're telling you those things on the field. But being upstairs, you could actually see it with your own eyes. You could see, oh man, we blew that coverage. Our rotation was bad. I tried to call a cover 2 look, but we stayed in cover 3, and our safety went down, and that's a mistake. And you're like, oh no. So you're able to kind of convey that. Yeah, do you miss the opportunity of walking up and saying, hey, listen, man, we have got to find a way to, and this is sideline conversations and stuff. We've got to find a way to be. I was part of when they used to have the cords, when they used to have the cords in the game in Green Bay one year, we had a defensive coordinator named Fritz Shermer, had a guy get sick who was his cord holder. They asked me, because I was on the sideline, would you hold Fritz's cord? I learned so much about being on the field and coaching that day. Listen to the interaction that Fritz had with the players. That's the one thing that you kind of miss, is being. Now, you could pick up the phone but Dan Quinn had really good success.
Yeah.
Being upstairs. Will McClay was a huge help with him. The coaches, they were able to identify personnel, but you're away from the action. You're away from the sidelines could be a very emotional place. And you see those reactions, and you see that, and it can affect how you kind of call the game or look at the game. Being upstairs, you can kind of be in your own little world. You can make your notes, make your adjustments, think about the next series. The question I'm going to ask Stephen Jones today when we have him on this afternoon on 105.3 The Fan is, I'm going to ask him, why now? That's what I want to know. I mean, if this is something, I see it as a positive, but why now? There's three games left here. Was this something that was thought about earlier? Now, the answer Stephen might get me, I might not like. It might be a thing where last week we saw a little bit of they had to use a timeout, and Brian Schottenheimer emotionally said, what the F are we doing out there? And so sometimes maybe having somebody somewhere else might be a little thing. That's just me speculating right there. It's not anything I know, but maybe having that, maybe, hey, we kind of messed that up. You need to get upstairs and figure it out. And and I think that maybe is where we're at. But I plan on asking Stephen Jones that question: why now? Why not? And Falus even said he hadn't been in the press box for 17 years. It's a pretty long time not to be up there, and all of a sudden decide we need to go in the press box.
Shotty did say, I think it was yesterday, it may have been this morning on 105.3 The Fan, but he did say, and I read the comment, he said he was asked a similar question. His response was, we feel like we got on a run and played some good defense in those 3 games that we won in a row. And then we lost to Detroit. So it wasn't a situation at that point where we were just going to make a wholesale change after one game that we didn't play well. And then, obviously, you lose the next, and that's where it falls off. But he said he didn't think that it was a situation where they should have necessarily done it earlier. It really, they thought that maybe they solved a lot of the problems when they got the new players in, they got on that run, and then things started to fall apart. So I get that. It does feel like no matter what, even if they play really well, it does feel like it's still going to be like, did we wait too long?
Yeah.
And that was my question for you, Amber. As you look at this, is there anything that this defense can do in the last 3 games? Because Jerry said these games are going to be a part of the conversation on what they're going to do with defensive coordinator going forward. Is there anything they can do? If they pitch a shutout these final 3 games, is that enough for you to feel confident that going into next year, Matt Eberflus is the right guy to lead the defense?
I'm so sorry, but no. I mean, it's just a little too late for that, in my personal opinion, because you have to look at who you're playing against as well. Yes, you have a tough matchup this weekend against the Chargers, but after that, you have Washington and then the New York Giants. You're not going to impress me by playing a really good game against those 2 offense right there. And to your original question, Derek, and I've been on both. I've experienced the game on the sideline and at the press box too. On the sideline, we all know the game happens so much faster. So much faster. It's insane. And it's so hard to see what exactly is going on. And I mean, credits to all those coaches who do that and have that ability, but it's very difficult. And this is why I think this change will actually be beneficial to Eberflus and his future, because even if it's not here with the Cowboys, let's say he still has to look for a job, and finish the season strong. Eberflus, and I'm saying this from my own point of view, I have a soft spot for him because I think he's a very nice guy and I have so much respect for him. But based on all the things I've always seen pregame, on the sideline, he doesn't seem to have the type of personality that connects with the players. And he tries, but in my eyes, there's some type of disconnect just because it's not the right personality. It doesn't seem to be the right fit to have that type of communication or relationship with those players. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just happens, you know? It's not that he's being a jerk or not trying. He's trying, but it just sometimes doesn't work. And I think that's why when you mentioned the communication with the players and being there, because there's that lack of relationship there, I think he's just going to find much more success just being up there, bird's eye view, and just seeing the game differently and taking that part of the game out and just focusing really on the changes. And maybe we are able to see some positive adjustments from him watching the game up there.
Yeah, Derek, a couple of things though on that, and to me, I'm to the point where right now, I think Ambar's right. It doesn't affect me because if the fact that Philadelphia wins on Saturday and the division's wrapped up and you're completely out of the playoffs that way, I'm playing these last two games in a different light. I'm now thinking more about 2026. So, and with Bland and already being out and stuff like that, looking at new guys, that's kind of what we're at right now. I'm going to take the last 2 weeks and evaluate more the players than I am the coaches, and see how that goes. I think that, to be honest with you, I think the die has been cast here. I think the die has been cast. That's just my personal opinion. None anything from anybody at the Cowboys have told me anything. I just kind of feel like, though, that this right now is probably going to be a change. We saw it happen when you look at Mike Nolan. They played a game on the 3rd of January. The 8th of January, he was relieved of his job. By the 11th of January, they had another defensive coordinator in Dan Quinn. I don't know if they'll go that fast, but I think the first and the second might happen that way. That's just my opinion on this.
All right, we're going to take our first break. We'll come back. It's Yeti time. It's Friday. Amber's got some good questions for us. We'll do that here in the second segment. We'll be back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
If you can't be at the stadium, there's no better way to watch your Cowboys than on an LG OLED Evo TV. That's because everything you see is more lifelike. Every play, every hit. I mean, you might as well be on the sidelines. That's how clear it is. It's all thanks to LG's legendary technology. Perfect black, over 8.3 million self-lit pixels. No one comes close. LG OLED Evo is the best TV in the game for a reason. See for yourself at lg.com/OLED Evo.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman here, the official pitmaster of the Dallas Cowboys. This holiday season, I've got Yeti's new insulated bowls and food storage working overtime. The insulated bowls are amazing. It'll keep queso warm or guacamole fresh. And the food storage containers protect my ingredients and help me stay organized. They also make great gifts for the host, making Yeti bowls and food storage MVPs for the holidays. Get yours at Yeti.com or a Yeti store near you.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
Cowboys fans, here's the game plan. Touchdown Tuesday at Take 5 Oil Change. Just wear your Cowboys gear and save 25% on your oil change. No huddle, no overtime. Just drive in, stay in your car, and roll out. You'll be tailgate ready in 10 minutes flat. Keeping up with your car shouldn't be a tough call. Take 5 makes it as easy as calling the coin toss. Take 5 is the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit take5.com to find a location near you. Offer valid through December 31st, 2025. Terms and conditions apply. Valid only at participating locations.
If you shout, "How about them Cowboys?" you have that undeniable passion that's the heart of Cowboys Nation. And if you like to drink Dr. Pepper, you love the unique blend of its 23 flavors. Together, your one-of-a-kind fandom paired with the one-of-a-kind taste of a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper is the game day lineup that can't be beat. Better yet, gather your Cowboys and Dr. Pepper fan friends to watch the next game and crack open a delicious ice-cold Dr. Pepper for everyone. The wins will be even tastier. It's a pepper thing.
Back to the break.
AT&T connecting changes everything.
Welcome back. It is the second segment of the break live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. It is Yeti time with AG. Amber, what you got for us?
This segment is presented by Yeti. Officially licensed Yeti Cowboy gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com.
All right.
Okay, so today, let's see if this works out or not. But This is all Christmas theme, and I'm bringing some Christmas movies, Christmas characters. I'm going to give a quick description of the theme of that character or movie. And then I want you guys to relate it to somebody or a situation, whatever it makes it, whatever that description or character reminds you of about the team and the Cowboys or whatever. Does that make sense?
So it's a Christmas movie? Or
Yeah, like for example, I'm going to give the first one.
Okay.
And
I haven't seen many of these, but I'll give it a go.
But I'll give you descriptions.
Okay.
Okay. So for the first one, Buddy Elf, he's overly positive, believes no one can stop him, and he always brings chaotic energy wherever he goes. If you had to think of somebody or a situation that gives you that vibe, who is it?
Oh, we don't have the same one. Go ahead. I'll let you go first.
Is it George Pickens? That same kind of that energy. There's chaos, but there's always something kind of always positive. But he's kind of in a situation where it's still some chaos around him. He's always bringing people are always kind of critical of him in a way. But I think since the Cowboys have been, he's been a super positive guy, even after some of the games where it hasn't been. So I know I didn't take your guy then. Who is it, Derek?
My guy's Cavante Turpin. I'm just with the stuff, with the whole, fair catch, not fair catch. It just seems like this year it's been moments, fumbles. It's just been moments where it's he can break one any play, but it's been these just weird moments what is going on? And he does have supreme confidence. And it's really interesting. I love it because, I'm not a guy that's particularly tall. So I love it when guys that aren't particularly tall have supreme confidence. I don't care how big you are. I can get after it. Let's go. And I think Cavante has that. He has that a lot. So, I would say Cavante Turpin. Yeah.
All right.
That's the right answer, by the way.
Thank you. So I win.
There's no right or wrong answer. This is
1-0.
fun.
That's 1-0.
1-0. Feel free to throw in yours if something comes to mind.
Oh, no, Turpin is definitely Buddy Elf.
Okay.
Just watch.
I haven't seen the movie, so I'm guessing that's a good.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
What? That's crazy. I
haven't seen Elf.
No, I haven't either.
No.
I haven't either.
Insane.
But the way you describe the character is super positive, but chaos too.
Ferrell, he's one of the funniest actors ever.
Yeah, old school.
As soon as you said movies, I almost sent Josh in there. Josh.
I'm sure Josh over there, he's got a million different answers for each of these.
All right, next one. Home Alone with Kevin. He always succeeds when he's left on his own and forced to improvise. Is there anybody that reminds you of Home Alone? Kevin.
Is that Dak in the pocket when he has everything's kind of breaking down around him?
I mean, not lately.
And I know, but things are going kind of. You leave him alone. You let him you just snap him the ball. He kind of moves around, but it looks like something bad's about to happen, and he finds a way to kind of make a play. That's kind of very Dak-like.
That's the perfect one, Brian, because when you think about it, you watch that movie. And there's just stuff coming. Every few minutes, there's a new challenge, and he figures out the perfect way to defeat it. And it's I'll say that's Dak against Green Bay against Micah.
Yeah.
Because Micah just kept coming.
Oh, no.
Every play he was coming, and Dak would be like, "Not today. Nope, not today." And so I would say Dak too. That's a good one.
The chat agrees with you guys.
Yeah, Dak.
Everyone's mentioning Dak.
Who did they mention for the first one? Who did the chat say for the first one?
I saw someone mention that was pretty mixed. CD, Ferg, Terp, Sam. So it was kind of all over the place for the first.
Sam's interesting. Yeah.
All right, A Christmas Story. Ralphie. He wants one thing all season long, and everyone keeps telling him it won't happen.
It's Jerry Jones.
I was gonna say Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah, you're talking
That's a good one too.
It could be anything. It could be any situation.
It's Jerry.
Yeah, it's Jerry.
It's Jerry. He want every year. It's this. He talks and talks and he talks and talks and then now we're down to the end and people
just want that one Christmas wish, right?
Kevin Hagelin asked him today, "Do you take responsibility for this season?" And he went into his, "Yes, I do. I take responsibility for it." Every year he opens. He opens the press conference in Oxnard, and everybody's like listening. And by the end, everybody's going, "Yeah, poor Jerry." You know, he's once again has to be reminded that they're not going to be in the playoffs and stuff like that. So I would say that would be him. That would
Mine's Jaden Blue.
Oh,
Blue.
That's not a bad one.
Yeah, because he wants all the nice things, the cleats and stuff like that. Then he shoots his eye out and fumbles
Poor
the ball.
guy. He just wanted to wear his cleats out there. Okay. Who'd you say was yours?
What did I say was mine? Oh, Trayvon.
Trayvon.
Yeah. He just wants to get on the field. Man. He's like, I just want to play football. Like that's what I do. I just want to play football.
And then gets a concussion at the house.
It's like, man.
And then gets a concussion at the house.
Yeah, it's
right.
Just,
Yikes.
It's a rough year for my man.
All right, the Grinch. He shows up and ruins Christmas for everybody. Who reminds?
This is kind of mean.
I
hate even saying it, but Matt Eberflus.
I don't think you're wrong.
I mean, like that's been look. Let's I say it in jest. It's fun. We're having fun. We're having fun.
Well, also the Grinch turns out to be a good character.
Yeah, he's got a good heart.
He's a good dude.
He means well, but it hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out. Yeah,
It's been rough. It's been rough, and especially when you think about it from the standpoint of how good the offense is. I was telling somebody that yesterday. I was like, that's the part that really makes me feel some kind of way about this season. Is I'm like, this offense is really, really, really good, and just the defense just couldn't get to a point where it was complimentary, where it can give up some big plays, but just be complimentary. It couldn't get to that point. That's the part that's just so.
I would say, how about this one, Amber? This would be a little different. I'd say, how about the NFC North? And I'd say it in this way: 0-3-1.
Yep.
Against the NFC North. That would be what stole your Christmas.
Yep. Even the worst of their division.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Beat you. Yeah, at your place. Yeah. That division, I think coming into the year, a lot of people thought that was going to be the best division in football.
Oh, no.
And outside the AFC West, I think it probably is. Yeah.
But yeah, your Christmas got stolen when you couldn't win a game against the NFC North. That was a problem.
I say AFC, I meant NFC West. NFC West.
The West, you're right about.
Not the AFC West. NFC West. Yeah.
All right, Frozen. Elsa. Elsa's power is unstoppable when she's confident, but dangerous when she loses control.
Maybe that's George Pickens. No,
that's actually really George Pickens.
Yeah, it's George Pickens.
Yeah.
Or CD. I mean, when he doesn't catch the ball.
Yeah. Oh, it could be. I'll tell you, it could be Jake Ferguson. Ferguson catches it, makes great plays, and then he's whirling around, spinning around, and then the ball's on the ground, kind of guy. So it's like that's kind of something that loses control. You're like, oh my gosh, but in actuality, I think it's CD. I think this is CD.
Yeah, I think I would go with Pickens on that one.
Okay.
I think he has a way like
because I used Pickens the first time.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting?
Might be Turpin for me.
I would even say like
a
Dak wouldn't be bad for this neither, just because we see when Dak, he doesn't get mad often.
Yeah.
But you can tell, like if you saw Sounds of the Sideline, I think it was the Eagles game. Dak was fired up. I don't know if somebody from the Eagles got under his skin or something, but before that game, it was some F-bombs flying, like, them. And he was like very animated and went out and played like it. But yeah, Dak can get going when he gets hot, you know?
Okay, Bad Santa. Bad Santa shows up when you least expect him and causes damage.
Is this Billy Bob Thornton? Bad Santa?
Yes,
is that what this is?
I think so.
So I'll pose this question with that. What Cowboys' weakness always seems to pop up at the worst possible time?
Run defense. Because you think every time we've thought, and I'm talking not just this year, I'm talking years past, Every time you think it might be fixed, you get to that game where it's like, yeah, it's not fixed yet. They still got some work to do on this.
It's pass rush, man. We can't. I mean, it's bad Santa shit.
You're right. Pass rush is bad.
It's every year, every week for 16 weeks. Me and Vach have come in here and said, this team has a compromised offensive line. This is a compromised offensive. Let me tell you guys, this is a compromised offensive line. Man, where are the sacks? Where are the finishes? How about finishing in the pocket? That's bad Santa. Get somebody back there home, and all of a sudden you can't get the quarterback on the ground. This pass rush has been bad Santa to me. I think the run defense has gotten better. I think the pass rush has been a big problem this year.
And the reason why I said the run game, the run defense, is because it's we talked about with that Detroit game. Even though the numbers were less, it felt like they could run the ball whenever they wanted to. And that's where I'm just like, I expected this run defense to be a lot more of an asset. I think right now it's okay, right? That's the thing. It's okay. I think they're okay. I think they can do pretty
They're
well.
They're going to get tested this week.
They will. They absolutely will.
They will get tested.
But I thought they were fixed, and Detroit showed me they're not fixed. No. They're just better.
This
they're
defense is really kind of who it is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep.
I know we have to go. I have 4 left.
Sure, let's go another one. It's Christmas. Let's do another one.
Okay, last one to end it then?
Sure, let's do it.
And if we have time, we come back for the next segment.
Let's do it.
Okay, the Polar Express. The Polar Express is all about believing. I would say, what do Cowboys fans have to believe in the most right now?
Their quarterback.
Yeah, it's a quarterback.
They got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now, you have to say he's aging, and so you always wonder at how long does this last. But right now, Dak Prescott,
we're aging. Yeah.
We all are aging. But right now,
not me.
Right now, right, that's facts. Right now, Dak Prescott is one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. That's what the Cowboys fans can at least hang their hat on.
I would say maybe 2-3 years ago, you could say their ability to draft. That like it used to be like, boy, look at them, they're making these picks work and all. There was a time, been a little bit. We'll see with this past class. I think there's been some positives that you've seen,
yeah.
But there was a time where I really did believe you can hang your hat on their ability to draft players, and so. But to your point, Derek, I think you could really believe in. I think you could believe in CeeDee Lamb. I think you could believe in Tyler Booker, by the way. I think you can believe in him. That's something that should give you hope of a young guy.
You can believe that whole interior of the offensive line.
Yeah.
I think you got something.
Yeah.
Would you say looking into the future, you guys do believe in Schottenheimer?
I do. Until further notice. Like, that's the thing about all those kinds of things. You believe until you don't. Right now, I believe he's putting this position. I think he's taking this team in the right direction. Now, we'll see ultimately what that ends up meaning as far as wins and losses on the field. I think he is building what he said. He wanted to build the right kind of culture. I think he's building the right kind of culture. I think he's figuring out what players fit into that culture and which ones don't. I think he's holding players accountable, which I've always thought is necessary in order to have a good team in the National Football League. So I think he's doing the right things. The question just becomes, how does he handle a situation like this year where you fall short? Does he get them to a point next year where they can recover from those things? They see the areas where they were really weak and they improve on those things in the offseason so that by the time they get to next year, we aren't talking about the same things as problems in this next year as we talked about in 25.
I'd love to see him 9-7-1 finish this out because I think it buys him credibility. Then the next thing I would like for him to do is to go and be that guy that, now, he's navigated the season. They had a winning season. Maybe expectations were a little low because he was a first-time head coach. But I'd love for him to be able to finish 9-7-1, the 3-game winning streak, go into the offseason, and then go in there with the Joneses and say, listen, we've got to do something different with our roster. We've got to go out and maybe play in free agency a little more. Let's not bottom fish on this thing. I'll make a change at the defensive coordinator spot. If you allow me to do that, I'll be happy to. I'll get some guys. We'll study this. We'll get it done the right way. But I just want him to finish good so he can go in there, and then the Joneses could say, you're right. you're right. You're right. If they go out there and they lose 3 straight, and all of a sudden and it kind of sputters, and you're kind of looking at it, the things that he really, the culture, the words that he was saying with the players. Hey, got to do this, got to do this, that falls on kind of deaf. He said it last year. But when you finish with a winning record and you finish on a good streak, and you want to go out there and then, okay, that's not good enough, but this is what we're going to do. That's what I want for him. That's when I'm going to believe. When he walks in there and tells them, listen, we need to get better at these positions. Instead of just, hey, it's okay, guys, whatever you want to do in the offseason, if you want to sign your own and bottom fish and all that, that's great. Please don't do that, because if you do that, I have no confidence in him.
The other thing I'll give him a lot of credit for is this offense. It's an offense that took that next step, and I think not as much attention has been given the fact that he's the one running this offense, and moving from Mike McCarthy's offense to this offense. I think he does deserve some credit for how good this offense has played this year. Now, you got to give some deference also to the fact that you got George Pickens out there. I think that makes a huge difference. Yeah. But all that being said, you coach who you have, and I do think that he's made the most of that. And I think as a result, you've had one of the better offenses right now, the top offense when it comes to passing yards in the National Football League.
I just wish, and I appreciate what you said there, Derek, but the thing that bothers me right now is we've seen 2 games where somebody, and you said it, I know you and I got in this discussion yesterday, just free him up a little bit more. If it means the vertical passing game, it turns into pass interferences and stuff. Max that thing up and run George Pickens on these corners. And all season long, they've struggled with him. They figured out how to play the slant on him now. Kind of get him back in that mode. And that's Schottenheimer's done a nice job. But, man, the last 2 weeks, you need to get one of your best players going.
And maybe the double move off that slant. There are some things you can do with that, but also that's where I give time. That's where I will also give him some a little bit of grace and say, okay, you've learned some things this year from your team. You've learned that this is how teams are going to want to take away George Pickens. So, by the way, if you keep George Pickens and you go into next season, they should not be able to do those same things to you.
Please.
That's where I'm like, you need to correct that. And that was my point about that's where I will learn a lot about Shotty is if we're talking about the same storylines of the challenges that they've had this year, next year, now my question starts to be, how are we not adjusting? How are we not adapting? How are we not getting better? But if those things are no longer problems, they're always going to be problems. You're always solving problems. As you say, Brian, it's kind of like running a marathon. Yeah. It's just a series of problems that you're solving, right?
Manage problems.
And so I do think that that's a part of it. And I think that's where I look at him and I'm saying, if they can figure that part out, if they can solve these problems going into next year, then I think that's where I really look at him and say, he's taking that next step and he's a really, really great coach.
I agree.
All right, we're going to take our final break. When we come back, we'll give you guys what we think is going to happen this weekend, Cowboys versus Chargers. We'll be right back. DallasCowboys.com radio.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
I'm home. Hey, Mom, before you ask, I've done my homework and the dishwasher's unloaded.
Nice. Hey, can you... Hey, hon, yes, I've got the finale ready to play. Here's your wine.
Wow. Isn't it nice not having to ask? We think so. That's why if there's a network interruption, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service, guaranteed. Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or for wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for details.
From the field to the festivities, Lucchese embodies the essence of luxury and tradition. Handcrafted with meticulous precision, each pair offers unmatched comfort and style. Stand tall while you're tailgating or cheering in the stands with the Dallas Cowboys collection by Lucchese. Shop the collection today at the Lucchese store at the Star in Frisco or online at lucchese.com. Lucchese, the official boot of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
Back to the break.
Choose perfection. Choose LG OLED Evo. Check out the best TV in the game at LG.com.
Welcome back. Final segment of the break live from SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. This segment's brought to you by blockchain.com. And let's get to the game. Let's see what we think is going to happen. Real quick before we make our picks, I did have one question for you guys about this game. I'm going to give you 4 names. Which one of these offensive players do you think you really want to see more of this week or in the subsequent 2 games beyond that in order to help you with evaluations going into the offseason? Nate Thomas, Luke Schoonmaker, Jalen Tolbert, or Jonathan Mingo?
Nate Thomas. Nate Thomas for me.
Okay. Why?
I just feel like, to me, though, because I've got to figure out the right tackle thing. And Jeff Cavanaugh and I had a discussion this morning on a podcast we do, and we had the discussion about he didn't feel like that Nate Thomas was all that great, and he's going to have to address it with the 14th pick potentially. And I disagreed with him. I think with this offensive line coaches that you have, the offensive staff that you have, I really have a lot of faith. This kid basically played his rookie year at tackle. There were some good things you saw. There's some bad things you saw. I just want to continue to see him play because now I have a decision to make at right tackle. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure that, okay, my left tackle, but I've got some situation I got to think about with Guyton because my guy Guyton can't stay healthy right now. I mean, he's a young guy that's now kind of been banged up, but I want to continue to see more from Nate Thomas. I know the thing with Mingo and all, it's a wide receiver thing and all that. I think that's going to take care of itself, but I just want to continue to get Nate Thomas more reps.
For me, and all of these are great names. I think all of them are the right answer too. But with me, I've still seen very little of Mingo. And, going back to last year when he got on the team, there wasn't enough time there for him. And then this year, still not enough time. So I don't want to go into next year being like, oh, I want to see Mingo, see what he's got. Like, I want to know and have a better idea of what exactly we have with Jonathan Mingo. Now, I'm curious to see, does Dak, let's say they're out this weekend, does Dak continue to play for the rest of the season?
See, that's now this thing. If all of a sudden it turns Saturday and Philly wins, my attitude, you're going to try and win the Chargers game, play it. I'm not playing on that bad turf with the Commanders field. That thing late in the year, that's a nightmare. And then the thing at the Meadowlands there at that MetLife Stadium, that turf, I'm not playing.
You're not playing any of you guys. You're not playing Dak.
Yeah. I agree.
You could take everybody off the practice squad and play them and all that. They're going to want to win games. We as a whole, when you work in this organization, you want to win games. You don't want to tank games. I wouldn't be complaining about the spot. If I could go up a little bit and pick a little bit better player, I'd be happy about that. But to me, Dak Prescott, if you're eliminated and you want to play this game against the Chargers trying to win it, I get what Shotty's trying to do, win games. I think it's important. I just told you how important it was. But, man, I'm thinking about Dak Prescott, and maybe with Joe Milton I could beat the Commanders, and I can find a way to beat the Giants. So that would be my.
And you give him more experience.
Well, that's the thing, and I don't think that they will do it. I think they'll play Dak, but in my opinion, I actually think it's a great thing to evaluate Milton. You still want to find out, can Milton be your backup? Can he be a sustainable backup for the next several years? And I think you got to get him into some game situations to see that.
He played in Buffalo last year, a game in final game of the season. Yep. Played really, really well. To me, give him these next 2 games if you in fact are eliminated. And I would even consider maybe not even playing Quinnen Williams and some other guys like that. I'm not interested in having my star players playing meaningless games.
I'm already worried about what's going to happen with Deron Bland and whatever might come of that if he's going to have surgery. I don't want more of that.
I think I know what's going to happen here. If I could just real quick. they're going to look at the screw that's in his foot.
Okay.
The screw might have to be replaced. That's what they're kind of talking about right now.
Yeah.
Maybe not a full-on, completely reconstructed kind of thing.
Yeah.
But right now there's some concern about the screw.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I just want him to be able to get an off season. Man.
Yeah.
I think it's important for him to get an off season. I want him to be able to play pain-free, too, because that's also part of it. I wonder how much of the struggles that we saw this year are related to that.
There's probably some there, too.
Yeah.
But,
all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, give me some picks for this game. What do you think is going to happen, Cowboys versus Chargers?
I keep flip-flopping in my head because the Cowboys are one of those teams that they can very well go out and win, and then you're like, well, where was all that last week? Where was it? But I am picking them to lose. I think one more team has a lot more to fight for at the moment. And again, like we said, we'll find out on Saturday if the Cowboys are in or out, which okay, that's that, right? But I think they're still going to show up. They're going to put up a fight, but the Chargers get the win on this one. I would say 35-23.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Dallas is probably going to lose this game. I would say this game is going to be in the range of 30-24.
All right. And of course, I'm going to pick the Cowboys. But I will say this. I do think actually
I don't blame you.
The surprise of this will be the Cowboys defense will play better. And then everybody's going to be left saying, why didn't we do this a few weeks ago? But I do think they will play better. I do think it will help having Eberflus up top and being able to really just evaluate what's happening in the moment, make decisions and adjustments a lot quicker, which could affect that. And I think this offense will continue to do what this offense does. I don't think that was their best game last week at home, certainly this season. I think they'll get back on the track of what they've been at home offensively. And so I do think they'll get a win. Give me, 33-27. How about that? All right. Appreciate you guys, Jones. We'll be back on Monday. We'll let you know what went right and wrong. Next week, we're going to have a really altered schedule because we'll have the Christmas Day game on the road. So we'll only be doing shows on Monday and Tuesday for all of our podcasts. So make sure you check us out next week. We'll be on for those 2 days, and then we'll get you guys ready for Christmas. Till then, for Bryan Broaddus, Ambar Garcia, I'm Derek Eagleton. This has been The Break, live on DallasCowboys.com radio.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.